We begin at the Bomas of Kenya here in Nairobi, where the National Dialogue team now wants the National Assembly and the Senate House leaders to fast-track the processing of a parliamentary motion that will entrench in law the Dialogue Committee and the work it's about to embark on. On its inaugural sitting today, the 10-member committee resolved to assign its 8-member technical committee the role of reviewing the issues raised by both parties and align the agenda as well as timelines of the talks. From the Bomas of Kenya, Chemutai Goin has more.
The Kenya Kwanza and Azimio dialogue kicked off with a formal co-opting of the technical committee, a move followed by a resolution to urge the National Assembly and the Senate to process a motion that will legally establish the dialogue committee. A parliamentary resolution would ensure the committee deliberations and overall recommendations are bound by the law and therefore actionable. With some of the issues also expected to generate bills and possible review of the law, the technical committee is set to work with the Secretariat from Parliament to initiate its drafting. Throughout the week, the technical committee will also meet to address preliminary issues, including the duration of the talks, noting that the Azimio coalition has threatened to resume street protests if by the end of the month a resolution will not have been reached.
And this is a team that will be backing us up in the dialogue team. We shall be briefing them as much as we have individually briefed our teams. We now want to brief them on what our expectations as a team are to help us realize the objectives that we have out of this dialogue team in the quickest time possible.
The teams are actually going to synchronize the agenda.
Questions were also raised about the unexpected presence of U.S. Senator Chris Coons in the country, noting that he was instrumental in bringing retired President Uhuru Kenyatta and opposition leader Raila Odinga together, resulting in the handshake that has been vehemently opposed by Kenya Kwanza.
As far as Azimio La Umoja One Kenya is concerned, our teams have been ready, but I think that our friends are also now ready. And we want them to engage so that they can look, as you remember, both sides had their set of agendas, and it's important they get synchronized. And that we leave to the technical team to be able to provide the way forward. Once that is agreed, I think we'll be on our way.
We have also indicated that we are here to engage in good faith, in line with our laws and our constitution. And we want to believe we are all here in the interest of the Kenyan people and the Kenyan state. And therefore, we shall be engaging in that dialogue process, which now formally begins because we have now the two technical teams from both sides formally constituted.
But even as the committee commenced its sittings, it was apparent that among issues raised by both parties, there were some that are bound to raise temperatures within the committee and likely to result in a standoff. The spotlight remains on the committee on how it will conduct itself. Attempts by Azimio to include members of the diplomatic corps and religious leaders to the talks was set aside until a framework for their inclusion is arrived at.
The dialogue in the country of Kenya should be people-driven dialogue, not leader-driven dialogue.
A civil society group was the Bomas of Kenya, seeking to be included in the talks, claiming that the committee did not conduct public participation ahead of the talks. They were, however, dismissed. Despite the thorny issues that are threatening to scuttle the dialogue process, both teams remain confident that they will withstand the stormy seas and arrive at an amiable solution to the political problems that ail the country, and more so post the election-nearing period. Chemutai, Goin, Citizen TV at the Bomas of Kenya.